So here we are at the 11th edition of the Dubai International Project Management Forum. Hanny Alshazly is with me, Managing Director for PMI, the Project Management Institute for the MENA. First question for you, bigger and better this year than it's ever been. What is it about events like this for you guys as one of the leads, as the organizers?
So thank you, Tim, first of all, for having me. But events like this one, when you're looking at it for us as an organization that's focused on maximizing project success, and that's the key word that we look for. This is an event with thousands of project professionals gathering together, looking for ways and methods on two different levels. When I look at the event, you're talking to leadership who are looking to say, like, what else can we do to up the standards? If you're looking at the UAE, you're looking at Saudi, from all different levels are coming in here. They're kind of exploring to see what else can we do to have better standards, to have more project success happening in our part of the world. And that's one side of it. The other side of the coin that's really kind of something that we're very interested in is the project professional themselves. They're looking for ways to increase the employability. They're looking for ways to making sure that they are still desired as these standards go higher and higher. And with us at PMI, the way we look at this one, we've been known for years with our golden standard certification, the PMP. But I love it at the booth, and I love it when I'm talking to project professionals where they come and tell you, well, what's going on with sustainability? I heard about that's the new keyword where we need to be part of. Then you hear construction next door. Then you hear younger generation coming in. They're asking about what's going on with this CAPM or certification or CPMAI, and that's another one. So again, to look at this one is like a kid in the playground. You see people from everywhere, but the end of it is focus on standards, focus on employability, focus on talent gap, and that's something that we have in our report. And I would love to maybe give you a fact in here. The MENA, the Middle East and North Africa alone, right now has a gap of 600,000 desired project professionals to be here by 2035. And you and I know how far away is that? That's around the corner, blink of an eye. So looking at this and talking to them, this is the right place to be surrounded by all of that. And I'm so pleased to be here.
You see, that's what's important about things like this. If events like this, you're really in front of the fire. You're right in front of the furnace, aren't you? You get to meet the people. You get to explore the ideas as well. And it's interesting that you use the phrase opportunities there, because that's kind of the natural next question. And I'm wondering how you feel about Dubai at this point in time, because there are opportunities being created. That's Dubai's thing. Things are certainly moving in a northwards direction. How do you view opportunities arising now?
So when you're looking at Dubai, and again, you make me smile because I moved to this part of the world a long time ago, in and out of it. And every time you come in, they tell you, well, you know, you're probably going to hit saturation at a certain point in time. And I laugh at that word.
This is what we think.
Thank
Not
you.
yet.
Not yet. And here is the part, the more dynamic things get, there is nothing called saturation. Because by the time someone like me and you feel like, okay, we've done it all, someone from leadership in Dubai and the UAE, they come and say, guess what? Here is the next big thing that we need you to be part of. Are you able to not just cope with the change, but make a difference? To me, in summary, that's Dubai. Project management, that's a field that existed for years then, that for a long time. But to see it evolving to cope with what's happening in Dubai right now is just tremendous.
It is. You know, the thing is that we're in the center of the globe. This is a global conference, and the reason for this event, as you well know, but for anybody listening or watching now, it's intended, I'm going to quote here, to connect people, purpose, and technology to drive progress. So it's a very, very broad remit, isn't it? I'm interested, and I don't know how much you can tell me, but I'm going to ask anyway, the kinds of conversations that you're having at the event that you've had over the past day and a half, 2 days.
Excellent. So you kind of touch base on that part. When I'm talking to project professionals, the first thing that comes in mind, what is still relevant from your kind of your view? I talk to leadership, not just in the UAE, but across the region and the globe. And I love it because it gives me perspective as leadership from PMI to work with our CEO and the rest of our executive team on seeing are we doing the right temperature check of what's next or not. And also I'm the person, like you said, on the ground. I'm in front of our project professionals and I can get the right first-hand experience with them. So a first thing that comes in mind, are we still relevant or not? I'm a PMP certified for a number of years. What's next for me? and there is something next. I'll give you some facts that will make you smile. You look at risk management certification, for example, and that's like a very part of that I really admire, because risk comes hand in hand with success. You have to be able to understand what the risk is, to mitigate it, to know ahead of time, to know that our region, Middle East and North Africa, is the top 10 in the adoption of this certificate. That tells me we are ready. We are being certified to include that standard as part of what we're thinking. And that's discussion that we're having around here. The other part that our project professionals ask me is which is the beauty of it. You're talking about people and people connecting together. They ask me about our community. Big part about PMI being a not-for-profit organization is that we work with chapters from all across the region. UAE, for example, is our second largest chapter across Middle East and North Africa. So big discussions. What else can we do as volunteers to help and work together to teach others what we know and also learn from them? And that's something that we work connecting people together through PMI.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that we were in that position here. It's interesting to hear that, because there is a real feeling, I think, particularly at the moment, as we see stratospheric growth in the region, the UAE and Saudi Arabia, across the region. There's a feeling, isn't there, that it's that old conundrum: risk on the one hand, reward on the other hand.
Absolutely. I'll tell you something that's very interesting when you look at it. So UAE is again in the top 10. So Saudi Arabia, and we always look at that. I was recently like in Egypt, and I'm having discussion again with the project professional right on the ground. I'm like, so can you tell me why is Egypt now is one of the top 10 in risk management? And you talk to the Egyptian project professional, they tell me because of what you guys are doing with the government in the UAE. So now the government, to hire me as an engineer, I have to be certified. I have to reach that. And that makes me smile, because that is the right approach for us to work with the government in the UAE and ensure that they have continuous and consistent project success. They need to ensure that there's certification. For the Egyptian engineer or project professional, that's what they're investing in, and it's expensive for them, but they're investing in it because the ROI, they guarantee the job in the UAE or Saudi Arabia and other regions. So it kind of helps on both sides as well.
Do you know, it's almost as though you have my questions in front of you, because that's really where I was going with the next question, and it's really about the theme of the event. The theme this year is bridging communities. That's the overall banner. How collaboration, innovation, and sustainability can unite diverse communities and maybe shape the future of project management as well. That's where we are, and it might be me. And I'm kind of harping back to the next question and expanding on your previous answer. But I feel as though we're at a point where the leaders, the policymakers, the thought leaders around the region are kind of looking at the UAE. You've half answered this, Hanny, at exploring the future that we're all kind of looking towards. Does it feel like that to you?
100%.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more with you. And I'm happy to name names, by the way. I just came a couple of hours ago with His Excellency from the Dubai Police.
Right.
And the part that kind of puts people like myself on the spot is saying, one, I want to know what's new, where we are, giving a temperature check. Second, how can we do better? Not just like, are we doing okay or not? How can we do better? That tells you someone from a leadership perspective, they know that they're doing well, but yet they're hungry for upping the standards. And I'll use him as an example of 4 or 5 other meetings that I had on the side here of DIPMF, all excellency level. And the same exact thing comes at mind. That tells me the school of thought that always comes to all of them, their appetite is huge to continue that success, to continue being above everybody else, and not scared if, like when someone tells you, no, I'm not going to be the first guinea pig that you take and be the first trial. They're okay being that.
Yeah.
They do the thought analysis behind it, the risk behind it, but they say, I would love to be the first one based on all these factors. Let me see how we can work it together.
There's a real leading attitude, isn't there? There's nothing wrong with we're not going to get this right. We'll adjust. The course is there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we're not quite charted. Final question for you. I know that you're busy today, and really it's a very simple one. Events like this, you're here for a reason. There has to be there's an outcome that I guess you're looking for. What's the takeaway for you, do you think, when you get to the office tomorrow morning, much as you probably need a break? What's going to be in your head?
When I went home late last night, one thing came in mind is, are we doing enough as PMI? That's something that I take as leadership from PMI, and something I want to take back to the rest of our executive leadership. Are we doing enough? And second, what's next to ensure that we are ahead of that. I hate to be in my position and being asked or told rather that, Hanny, here is a new thing coming up and would like to see if PMI is doing it. I'd like to be setting that standard. PMI, since I've been with them, this is the part that I feel proud that we are ahead of the game. So my takeaway, two things. Are we doing enough? Second, how can I ensure that based on all of our research and investments in understanding this marketplace, are we ahead of what's required? So before leadership comes and asks me, I want to say, here is what's going on and here's how we're going to answer to that.
That's fair enough. Hanny Alshazly is the managing director, I should say, of PMI in the MENA. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for talking to Mira.